What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, people? This is the Live and Level Gamers Podcast, episode 111. We have the whole crew minus one. But before we get into all this, we want you to do one thing. We want y'all to hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you click the notifications so you can know when we are jumping on here live. Do that for me right now. Don't hesitate. Move your mouse over or take your finger and stroll over to the subscribe button. Click it. Then make sure you hit them notifications. That way you can stay up to date when we are doing these things. But we have the whole crew in the building. D2K, Keith Norris, K-Bum20, no Jedi Knight, but we try to do that on Sundays. Anyway, what's up, folks?
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up?
What it do?
Yeah, man, we back on here, man. So, hey, D2K.
Hola.
Did you get a chance to check out Spider-Man 2? I mean,
Negative.
Not Spider-Man 2, but Spider-Man Homecoming. That's what it was. I said Spider-Man 2.
Negative.
Negative, so we can't talk about it.
You can talk about it. I don't care.
No, we won't. We won't do that. Let me ask you this.
No, that's fine because I mean I've heard about it, so it's no big deal. It's not about spoiling.
We won't spoil nothing. We just give.
Because I don't think I'm going to be seen anytime soon. So if you want to talk about it, you can go ahead and talk about it.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the Live and Level Gamers Podcast. We're here to talk about what you love to talk about, and that is games. We're going to talk about what's going on with Nintendo and Splatoon 2. The sales numbers are out. We're going to talk about Sony and some comments that they had to say. And we're going to go back to this Xboxone X and ask the question, is it dead on arrival? Listening to some podcasts and different videos, many are under the impression that the Xboxone X is already pretty much a doomed situation. So, but before we get into that, I want to ask y'all, have y'all seen any of these new trailers dropping from Is it Comic-Con? How you say that? Comic-Con? Comic-Con. Have y'all seen some of these trailers? The new Justice League trailer, Ragnarok, what else? Have y'all seen any of them?
Stranger Things 2.
Stranger Things 2.
Yeah, that's Netflix. What about that one with Will Smith?
That's also Netflix. I forgot what it's called.
What is that called? I'll find it here in a second.
Cop movie when he's a cop in the orc and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's some Dreamland or something like that. Hold up, I'll find it. But yeah, man, we need to talk about this Justice League trailer, bro. What's me and Keith was kind of going back and forth offline, but D2K, have you seen it?
Which one? The Justice League trailer?
The newest, the latest Justice League.
I did see it. I don't remember too much from it. It's a lot been going. I did see it though.
Okay. Man, I'm sitting here like, dude, Justice League looking good, bro. I'm liking everything I'm seeing on that.
Go ahead and tell them your theory of who was at the end of the trailer.
Not the end. Now, I didn't see that, Keith. There you go. There you trying to lead me down a path of getting folks upset. I'm talking about, okay, my theory is, and I'm only saying this because in the animated movie, she was there. When Bruce Wayne was staring out the window and there was a red cape crusader floating in the air, if you look at the legs and the thighs, they look a little too small to be Superman.
I already know where you're going with this.
And I was wondering
about that rumor.
Yeah, could that be Supergirl?
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that she's going to be in this movie.
Yeah. So that and to me, for them to show it like that, I felt like that's might be too obvious to believe. Like, okay, they wouldn't, if they were gonna bring Supergirl, they would have kind of at least hit that little better. So I'm not for sure if that was like maybe Bruce
Really?
daydreaming or something.
Really think DC would have hit it better?
See, why you doing that, K-Bub?
Really?
Can we?
How
Can
much
we-
faith you putting into these dudes?
Wait a minute. I'm putting some faith in them. They getting stuff right. Wonder Woman was good outside of the last boss fight.
I did see it. We can talk about it a little bit. I did see it.
You saw Wonder
Okay.
Woman?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So everybody here seen Wonder Woman, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So starting with, I want to start with Keith Norris. Like, let me get your verdict on the Wonder Woman.
I swear I thought we talked about this, but no, it was a great movie. It was what they should have started with, in my opinion. I'm sorry, I'm sitting there watching the trailer, and I think you're right. I think Wonder Woman was great. I think Wonder Woman was a great movie. Like you said, that final act, though, it could have did better. But overall, man, it was good pacing. The connection between her and what's the guy named Steve? Was his name Steve in the movie?
Trevor or something.
Was it Trevor?
Steve Trevor.
The connection between them, man, it was one of the best DC movies out so far, out of the DCU.
Okay. D2K.
I would say it's not as good as it was being made out to be, but it's definitely a great movie, and I think it's the best of the DCU movies to date. How it racks up against DC movies that preceded it. You go all the way back to the two Richard Donner Superman movies, Tim Burton Batman movies, Chris Nolan Batman movies. Notice I skipped the other guy. I'm not going to talk about those other movies.
Wow.
The Bryan Singer Superman Returns. I think that this movie was probably better than all those movies except for the first two Superman movies and Batman Dark Knight.
Wow, that's saying a lot.
Yeah. Everything else, I think that's one of them was better than everything else. The only thing I could put over this in terms of the entire DC movie universe in general would be the Richard Donner Superman movies 1 and 2 and Dark Knight.
So none of the Marvels?
No, I said DC movies.
Oh, just DC movies. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at you trying to reach over there.
I wasn't trying to reach. I'm just trying to get clarity, man.
What you grabbing for?
And all that getting understanding, Hey, go ahead. Go ahead, D2. You still talking.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it kind of reminded me of a little bit of the backlash that Hugh Jackman got when he was cast as Wolverine. A lot of people looked at him and said, okay, this guy's too tall, fit the mold of Wolverine at all. But when you look at Hugh Jackman now, you can't really picture anybody else playing that role because he played it so well and he was so believable as Logan. And I think that Gal Gadot, I think that's how you pronounce her name. When I first heard that she was going to be Wonder Woman, I said, well, she's got the height to play an Amazon, but she seems to be really, really frail thin. And she's got the height, she's got the beauty, she's got the dark hair, but she needs to put some meat on the bones, She'd get a little, thicken out a little bit, but she just took that role and it's almost like when you looked at, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark and, Chris Evans as Captain America. I mean, she just took it and just knocked it out of the park. Because you forgot about the fact that she was you didn't care about her, being so thin. You just saw her kicking butt on screen, and it was totally believable when she was getting down. When they playing her theme music and everything, I'm like, oh, okay, if they get down now. So it was good. I was enjoying that, and I thought the end fight was, it dragged on a little too long, and it was a little too much CGI. But yeah, what it is. I didn't deduct any points for that, but it was a good movie. It's probably the best comic book movie I've seen this year.
Okay. I agree. I feel like the last boss, I just didn't feel like the character or the person who played the last boss in the suit didn't look right. I don't know how y'all felt about that. I felt like he was. It did, when long as he had the mask and stuff on, it was fine. But when you actually seen his face on the CGI and this dude all ripped up, but you see this fragile looking, it just didn't match to me. Anyway, I don't want to spoil the movies, but anyway, K-Bun, what was your thoughts on it?
Initially to what D2K said, when he said that, to me, I thought it was going to be better than what it was. It was hyped up to me that it was going to be really, really good. But to me, I didn't think it was really good, but I didn't think it was bad. I definitely score it higher than anything the DCU has done so far. It's definitely better than all of those. But to me, it still fails in comparison to any of the Nolan's Batman, or even had more fun watching even some of the old school Batman. But far as this DC universe, it's a much better movie. It's much better directed, better story, better side characters. I still didn't think it was a great movie, but I don't. It was still a good movie. I enjoyed my time, but it was a lot of cringe-worthy, cheesy moments throughout the movie. But I think Gal Gadot did an amazing job of making me believe that she was Wonder Woman. And like D2K said, I'm hop on his boat and saying that she made you forget any doubts you had about her playing the character, and that she totally accepted this role. And I mean, when you think of Wonder Woman now, this is what you're going to think of. And I think she did an amazing job of doing that. And I think this is an amazing movie just for the fact of it being a female-led movie. I think from that aspect, I think it's amazing, and the ability to, you know what I'm saying, allow little girls and young girls to be able to look at this as a role model. But for me, it was hyped up a little bit more than I thought. Than I actually watched and saw it for myself. But like I said, I don't knock it for being bad. The third act was to me hard to watch. I thought they did a lot of stuff that they didn't need to do. But other than that, I mean, it was a cool movie. I enjoyed myself. Not something I'm gonna go buy, but I still enjoy myself watching the movie. My wife liked it too. So
See, that's all that matters. As long as your wife got good taste in movies, you know. But anyway, I ain't gonna go.
Oh, hold up. Before I go, I just want to throw a little fun fact in there. We were talking about her being frail, but we talk about her looking so good in the fight scenes. Did you guys know that she spent 2 years as an Israeli combat trainer in the military?
Yes, she's part of the Israeli Defense Forces. And they train with the martial art called Krav Maga, which is one of the oldest martial arts in the world and one of the most, I won't say deadly, but the most effective martial arts.
Close combat, hand to hand. They are renownedly known for their hand-to-hand.
Yeah, I've seen the martial arts, but I didn't know she actually was
for 2 years
practicing and was an instructor of it. No, I didn't know that.
That's why she looks so good.
That's why she looks so good. So that's almost like Wesley Snipes from Blade. That's why he pulled it off so good.
Yeah, man.
So she did her own stunts.
I don't know how much she did, but I mean, whenever you saw her doing anything, she looked good doing it.
I think that probably she did a lot of her own stunts. I think that probably some of the stuff was wires in terms of like the flips and stuff like that. But I don't think that she had a lot of stunt doubles, in that, because, that's a lot of training that you have to go through in order to be good at that. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't trip that hard when she was cast in the role, because I knew about that background that she has. I said, well, she knows Krav Maga and she's pretty tough. So I can't wait to see what that looked like on screen. And that's the reason why her fight scenes were so believable, because she wasn't trying to portray somebody who knew martial arts. She actually does, so she knew what to do. So that's the reason why it's always better to get, if you can, to find actors and actresses that actually have some type of training, because then when you do the fight scenes and it looks more natural.
Right.
And I do like this movie actually tried to make you laugh, unlike the other DCU movies.
Hey, bro,
try to give you some comedy.
We're not gonna let your bias leak through here. You ain't gonna be sitting up here being biased because you a Super Marvel
let me
fan. I'm a Marvel fan over DC, but we gonna get DC they do credit, man.
Credit. I'm giving them credit. They tried to make you laugh this movie. And the other crap where everything is dark and what's that old bald head dude out there just talking in riddles.
Man,
Anyway,
y'all gonna stop hating on Man of Steel. I give y'all Batman versus Superman. I will concede that maybe my enthusiasm and my love for that movie and appreciation for that movie was misplaced, but I will not step off of Man of Steel. I thought it was a good movie. I don't care what none of y'all say, but anyway, I'm not backing off that one. But Batman versus Superman, while I enjoy watching it, it is absolutely too long. I can't watch it in one setting anymore. I only can watch when Doomsday show up, and then I can watch from that point on. But
it's because it's 2 movies.
It's too long, man.
Except
it's more than just 2 or 3 movies.
So let's get it in. All right, so we did a little, warmed up. So if y'all didn't catch that, we about to get into this. So this is our section where we talk about what we've been gaming on. And I'm going to start with K-Bum 20 because he seems to always be the one who has a plethora of games to talk about. But let's let him go first. Go ahead, man. What you been gaming on?
Well, I was out of town, so I haven't had too much to go. But I have getting ready for that Madden 18. So I played a tad bit of Madden, not too much, just a little bit of Madden to get my taste, wet my taste a little bit. Still playing Overwatch. They just dropped a new character, Mr. Doomfist, Mr. Black Punch in the Face Man. It looks pretty fun, man. I'm excited about that. So I've been playing the comp mode in Overwatch. I played a little bit 2K. I realized that when you don't play that game for a couple of months and you go back and try to play it, your jump shot is off, your timing is off, and you play like trash. Because I was absolutely trash. A couple of games I played, and I probably need to hang those basketball shoes up until 18 comes out, because if you're not steady practicing, you can't get that timing down. So I was a liability out there. Other than that, I think that's kind of it, man. I've been reading up on the Madden 18. I don't know if you guys seen some of the screenshots. I do want to say that the Madden 18 is making me want. It's weird, but it's making me want a PlayStation Pro.
I knew it was coming.
Hey,
I knew it was coming.
I'm looking at the screenshots, and because they added the Frostbite engine to Madden 18. They've added Frostbite, and they've added 4K, and they added the HDR, whatever, and it looks. I mean, bruh, if you just go out there, it's a picture of I'll try to post. There's a picture of Marshawn Lynch being tackled, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. And I know it's based off the PS4 Pro or the Xbox X, but it's kind of making me take second thoughts. And I said before a long time ago, the only time I'm gonna get a Pro is if they give me a game that makes me say, you know what, I think it's worth it. And Madden's kind of scratching the itch a little bit, so I got to see how it looks in motion before I make that decision. But it's kind of making me itch.
You sound like this, man.
I got no control over it. I'm trying to get it. It's calling me. It's calling me.
That's what you sound like, Gabe. I'm sorry.
That's what we doing now today. It's gonna be me and you today. Back and forth all day today.
Hey, we don't supposed to be. We talked about this, man. We don't supposed to be talking about the Pro nor the X. We have said there's no reason to own them platforms, and here he is talking about.
I told you from the beginning until they show me a reason to own it. I am being shown a reason, so. Can you simmer down with that?
Oh my God, K-Bum, you were hurting me over here. So anyway, go ahead, D2K. What you been gaming on?
Nothing new. Just, I haven't really been gaming the whole lot. Just playing normal stuff that I normally play. So I've been busy doing other things.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, well, we know what me and Keith been playing, but Keith, just for listeners' sake, what have you been gaming on, buddy?
Man, what is that game called? Splatoon 2 is what I've been gaming on. Oh man, do you want to give impressions right now, or you want to wait?
No, we can wait. We get into that in a little bit. But just, I mean, well, go get your initial impressions, but details about it we get into right after me and you do this initial talk. So.
If I'm being honest, it's Splatoon 1.5, but it is an upgrade overall. It's a completely better game, but we get into more details. And I want to add that Titanfall 2 has a new horde mode. I haven't played it. I downloaded it today, so I want to get on some of that later. So, okay. Salmon Run is the truth.
I haven't gotten a chance to actually do Salmon Run with the actual group of people, but the little bit that I played on my own was the truth. But yeah, man, as far as me, man, I've been playing that Splatoon 2. Got it on with Keith a whole bunch of times. Me and Keith been running through it. Dr. Feelgood ain't owning me like he used to, but that brother is good, man. He could just, I don't know how he does it. He finds a position and he just be, brother's good, but I be holding my own. I kind of got my strategy down packed to what I play to my strengths, and I can pretty much stay pretty high in inking the turf and getting high scores in that because you know I found my routes through each stage to where I can get high ink scores. Mm-hmm. But like Keith said, I'm enjoying the game. It's definitely an improvement over Splatoon 1, the original Splatoon. It's like they tightened up a lot of stuff about it, but we gonna get into that here in a second. I played that. Also played a little Mario Kart with my daughter. And what else did I play? Man, I finally got a chance to see Get Out.
Uh-oh.
I finally got a chance to see Get Out the other day. I want to talk about this so bad, man. Did any of you guys see Get Out here?
I bought it.
Yeah, I saw it.
D2K,
no.
You see it? No. D2K, you got to go see.
No, I don't. No,
you don't want to see it?
No.
It's good, bro. It ain't scary. It's.
I don't care about the scary part. Just I don't really care for that type of thing at all.
Oh, okay.
I've never been no movie scared me before.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna sit up there and say that. I've been scared of a few movies. So, but yeah, Get Out was pretty good, man. But anyway, I did that, and like D2K said, been doing other stuff. So I haven't actually the last 2 days I haven't gotten a chance to turn on Splatoon, but the game is definitely going hard. So that's been our what you've been gaming on part. So let's get into these topics. We got a few topics. We want to talk about the situation with Nintendo. They released their numbers and all the stuff that they are doing. We might say that for the second topic. We could add Splatoon on to that. I've been hearing a lot of folks already saying that the Xbox One is doomed on arrival. We could talk about that. And I want to talk about this first. The Sony, I don't know who it was at Sony. Let me pull this up real quick. Let's talk about that. And if K-Bum or D2K or Keith got any other topic they want to talk about, just bring it up and we could discuss it. But let me find this topic. I just sent it to you. I don't know where I put it. Here it is. So Sony, in a interview, I guess, was asked about, this Nintendo Switch. And who is this guy? Let me see. Phil. No, not Phil Spencer. They didn't say Phil. Let me see. Let me read through here. Sony's Jim Ryan, is that his name? Global head of marketing and sales, was recently interviewed by Game Reactor. The interview asked Ryan about how Sony feels about Nintendo and Microsoft beginning to encroach on its space with the new Nintendo Switch and the Xbox One X. Ryan responded by saying, I think in many ways this sort of increased presence in the space is a good thing. It creates conversation. It creates excitement. Referring specifically to Nintendo and the high sales of the Switch, Ryan has some positive remarks. Certainly having a rejuvenated and energetic Nintendo back is great for the industry. I think our industry is better and stronger when Nintendo is strong. I really believe that. Then it goes on to say this positive comment from Ryan proves that when it comes to animosity between the platform holders, that only exists in the gaming community, not so much the industry. So he also went on to say, we got to talk about that. He also went on to say that because of the rejuvenation of Nintendo through the Switch, it is creating opportunities for Sony to move product to these newfound audience that Nintendo is bringing in with the Switch, because they believe Nintendo is bringing back the Wii audience, not necessarily attracting folks who buy PlayStation 4s and Xbox Ones. Sony believes that Nintendo is attracting back those folks that were interested in the Wii. And then the third thing was that they don't think that Nintendo appeals to the same demographic of gamer that Sony does, so they don't worry about Nintendo and what they're selling. So let's talk about this. The first thing was that the viewer said that the animosity is not amongst the creators, but the community. D2K, what do you think about that? Like, we talked about this before, but is this console war thing really not amongst Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo? Strictly, basically amongst retarded and insecure gamers?
Yep.
Don't leave me hanging like that. Go ahead, dialogue on it.
Yes, affirmative, correct.
Oh,
See,
okay. I thought you had more to say on it.
I mean, I can like you just have to say we've been through this before. I mean, this whole console war crap has always been continued with the fans. That's what it never was about. The content creators and the companies that make the consoles, we make all this stuff up. I mean, they have healthy camaraderie in competition between the companies. I mean, they want to. I mean, it's just like if we're playing against each other, we want to beat each other, but we don't mean any ill will towards each other. We just want to be the one that wins. Right. And that's how these companies are. I mean, Nintendo doesn't have any malice towards Sony because they're winning, or Sony doesn't have any malice because the Switch is selling well, or Microsoft doesn't have any malice towards Microsoft and Sony. It's Sony and Nintendo because they're both doing better than they are. They just all want to do great in their chosen, brackets or whatever. So it is just basically about the stupid brain dead people that are arguing for no reason with these companies that wouldn't have executives that wouldn't stop to piss on you if you were on fire. So it really doesn't make a difference. They don't care about you as an individual. They just care about the money that's coming out of your pocket into theirs.
Okay. Keith Norris.
Yeah, I was telling K-Bone earlier in the before we got on. I was like, man, Sony just out there, saying what they gotta say just in case they let y'all know they finna copy. We gotta soften this blow so y'all will be like, oh, they said they liked it. Now they come out with their own. It's cool. No, but for real, yeah, it's all about the gamers. The gamers are the ones who are keeping this imaginary war going on. It's kind of silly because you get in the comment sections, and I used to get caught up in this stuff and get angry for no reason. But you get in the comment section of some of these sites and people just hating on stuff, and it is kind of irritating when they hate on the game. Let's just use Splatoon for instance. They hate on the game without trying it or ever even giving it a second look, and it's like you're using the fanboy war to knock a game that's actually pretty good or a game that you actually may like. But Sony, they always say this type of stuff though.
Okay, all right, K-Bone.
Man, what Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo cares more, what they care more about than actual console wars is dollar bills, paper, greenback. And the thing is that they would use the console war to help fuel their community to go out and buy their system, but they don't care. All they care about is that greenback. and it's people that actually it's us consumers who are fanboys who push that agenda. I actually have my best friend actually got mad at me when I bought my first Xbox. Was mad at me like, "What are you doing? We're Sony over here." I'm like, "Yeah, I like Sony, but can I play Xbox?" And then I bought the Xbox 360, and he came by like, "What is that over there?" I'm like, "It's an Xbox 360. I'm about to play some Mass Effect. You want to play?" And I bought an Xbox One, and the same dude was like, "What? You a sellout, bro?" I'm like, "Man, I want to play games."
Dude, do I know this dude? I feel like I know who you're talking about.
I don't know if you met him. He didn't go to school with us.
No, is it close to you?
I mean, it's my partner. It's my best friend.
Okay,
the one watching that we used to go to when we was in high school. We would go to over each other's houses to watch E3.
Okay, maybe I don't. I maybe thought you was covering for another. Okay,
No,
all
no.
right, I got you. Go ahead.
Hold on, so you bought all 3 Xboxes and he still shot?
And he's still like, "What you doing, bro? You a sellout. You a sellout." I'm like, "Man, I just want to play. I just want to play good games." And I told him if Sony would have this game on their console, I wouldn't need an Xbox, but they don't, so I got to go get one. So, yeah. So it is purely. Whoa, that's not the right word. That is truly the actual consumers that's pushing this, man. And time again, Sony and Xbox have all congratulated and all thank and all wish well, and not just face value, but just friendly competition. It's like you hating another team and expecting that player on that football team to hate the other team, to hate the player on that team as much as you do. Nah, they still boys. They kids grew up together. I mean, they probably go to the same daycare. What you mean? I gotta hate this dude just because he's on the opposite team. You see that in basketball now. You know what I'm saying? You don't see basketball dudes hating each other just because they play for another team. They still boys. They still gonna beat you, but I don't hate you. So it's the fans, man. The fans that promote that.
Well, I mean, it gets really silly. I mean, this kind of reminds me of the olden days of wrestling, on how the kayfabe was so thick. Kayfabe means storyline, but kayfabe was so thick that you couldn't even be seen in public with other wrestlers that were. If you were a good guy, you couldn't be seen in public with a wrestler who was a quote unquote bad guy, because that would cause damage to the business. And there was a situation back in 1987 where a wrestler by the name of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, somebody might have heard that name before. Was basically driving down the road with another wrestler named the Iron Sheik, and they basically had some good stuff in the car, and they got pulled over and got arrested. Now, they both got fired. They both got hired. Well, one of them got hired back. Hacksaw got hired back, but Iron Sheik didn't get hired back for years. But they both got fired, not because they had drugs in the car, but because they were currently feuding against each other in an angle where Hacksaw was a good guy and Iron Sheik was the bad guy, and they were seen in public traveling together. That's why they got fired. So
McMahon is, I heard McMahon is real strict about them angles and really keeping up the character, even like in interviews and all that. They would come on and they got to stay in character, can't just be who they really are. I feel like I don't know. That's silly to me, but I've heard stories like that. That's my first time ever hearing that one though.
Yeah, that's a pretty famous story though.
Yeah. I was gonna say that this kind of, when you brought up wrestling, it reminded me of WCW and versus WWF at the time, WWE, and you had your fans who like this one and your fans who like that one. WCW is always like Pepsi to me, and WWE was always like Coke. I like Coke better, by the way. If I was to, no,
but it's like Pepsi, Coke, McDonald's, Burger King. I mean, it's like you're not allowed to like both. Or bits and pieces. Like I like McDonald's fries, but I like Burger King's burgers. No, you can't do that. it's like Popeyes or KFC or
The thing is, when it's amongst young-minded individuals, I can give it a pass. But when I still see this going on amongst folks that's 25, 26 and up, like y'all really, I mean, I understand getting in back and forth, having fun with it. But when this stuff really starts to create division and you ready to fight people and you 30-something years old, you ready to go find somebody and beat them up because or get into scuffles because they like Sony and you like Microsoft, or they went out and bought a Nintendo. I was hearing about a community. I don't follow none of these guys, but I follow somebody who follows this group, was talking about a particular podcast here on YouTube that one of the members went out and bought a PlayStation 4, and the whole podcast group land-based him, literally cut him off, wouldn't talk to him, mad at him, calling him traitor, talking about his family, talking about
what?
These grown people, man. And I'm like, because he went and bought a PlayStation 4, like, so
Shoot.
I ain't gonna say who, because y'all would know who I'm talking about, but I'm pretty sure
I
people
can assume
kind of know who I'm talking about down in the comment section. If you kind of close to enough, paying close enough attention, you would know. But yeah, if I say PlayStation 4, then you know it's Xbox people. But yeah, man, got mad at dude because he went out and bought a PlayStation 4. The dude's like, look, man, it has games that I want to play. I own the Xbox One right now. It ain't nothing on the Xbox One that's intriguing me.
Well, first of all, you start off the conversation by saying, I'm a grown man. Okay. And then you end the conversation with that.
Right, but see, you would think D2K, us logical, mature thinking people would think that's all it would take. But being comrades on the show with these dudes, he couldn't even come back to the show. he was booted off the show, and they man, it's crazy. But I see this amongst a lot of groups and amongst a lot of people. If you don't stick with, like, even down to the Nintendo community, some people take it that serious. If you are not talking Nintendo, if you're not big up in Nintendo, they can't listen to you. They can't follow you. They only want to hear Nintendo. They got it. And if you say anything Sony or Microsoft, they feel like you have betrayed them. It's like, dude, these are some very... Anyway, we ain't come here to talk about that, but that was interesting. So let's talk about the other stuff. Sony also said that Nintendo and Sony, with Nintendo's success with the Switch, they don't feel that the audiences are the same. Meaning, the dude was asking Ryan, was this going to eat into their sales? And he, from what I read in other places, he said no, because Nintendo appeals to the casual group, and they might take that group from us, where we might have been able to sell a PlayStation 4 to the moms and the dads and all that. The Switch might cut us off there, but our main audience, our main demographic, Nintendo doesn't infiltrate that area. And I found that kind of puzzling, because if you look at the Switch and all the marketing, it's marketed towards individuals that would typically buy a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One or something like that.
Well, they that's what they're trying to do, but the substance of what the Switch is doesn't appeal to who they're marketing the console to.
Well, pause. I would agree if sales wasn't like they are. Like, reason I say I don't agree is because, one, the Switch, if you look at them lines and you see the people that are running out trying to get it, and everywhere I've been, I haven't seen the mom and the pops. I've been seeing cats that look like me out trying to find them a Switch. Even overseas, when you look at Japan, you see those lines of 3,000 people. Them are middle-aged, gamer-like type individuals. So I don't know. Right now, it might not be truly impacting Sony because it's early in the Switch life. But I do believe that with the Switch, there is some crossing, and I believe it always crossed, but I think Nintendo is actually intriguing those folks that will buy a PlayStation or Xbox One.
It's an and console.
Yeah.
And that's what the Wii was. Wii was an and console. It's not something that people are going to buy instead of. They're going to buy in addition to something. If they don't have anything. If it's a Nintendo fan, they're buying it instead of. But if it's somebody who's not a Nintendo fan, they're buying something else, and they're buying the Switch out of curiosity or because they have the money to buy everything. So why not pick up a Switch? I think that once you get past the saturation point of the Wii U, then we can start talking about whether or not this is crossing over into Sony and Microsoft's territory. Because you have to remember that the people that bought the Wii U that were disgruntled about how the Wii U failed were waiting and hungry and starving for something better. And now they have something that's better and basically what the Wii U should have been in the first place. So now you have a lot of sales that a lot of people are saying is basically everybody's buying it, but you have to remember the vast majority of the sales for the Switch are from Nintendo fans. And once you get past that 14 million and you're still selling at the same clip that you are right now, then you can say, okay, we got something here.
I would like to add something to what you, kind of change what you said. You said they were hungry and starving. Well, I'm going to say we because I'm a Nintendo fan. I would say we were hungry and starving for something from Nintendo. We were still playing games. We were still getting our satisfaction on these other games. So just want to throw that out there.
You mean other games on the Wii U or other games on the consoles?
Other games on other consoles, PC consoles.
Well,
whatever.
I mean, it wasn't like there was anything wrong with the games on the Wii U. It was just the console didn't meet the needs that the gamers wanted. I mean, you had a lot of great games for the Wii U, and that's the whole thing is that Nintendo, that's why I said the last time I was on, is that the quality of Nintendo games has never changed in 40 years. It's not going to change. That's always going to be a constant. Their games are always going to be good. The problem they have is where the hardware is. The hardware doesn't seem to match the level of ambition that they have for the games. I think that sometimes they're trying to find the lowest common denominator with the hardware, and that sometimes even cripples their artistic vision of what they want to do for their games.
Okay. K-Bone, you quiet. You got to go ahead and leave your points in.
Yeah. No problem. So I do think we are so this initial wave of Switch owners, I do believe is a lot of them are ex Wii U owners. I don't think a lot of them were just PlayStation owners or just Xbox owners and did not own a Nintendo system beforehand. I think a lot of them are people who own Wii U's. And I don't, from what I'm seeing and what I've heard, and again, my circle is still very small compared to the broad view of things. I still think that the appeal of the Switch right now is a little limited when you compare it to some of those games that's being sold on the Xbox One and the the PlayStation 4. I don't think it's the same type of games, which means the same type of gamers that are excited about the games that are Nintendo games for the Switch that they would have been for the PS4. And so I think time will tell. Like I think this initial wave, like I said, it's only been out for 5 months.
Yeah,
is that correct? And so this thing is still very, very, very early in the cycle, and it's selling good, which I'm excited about.
4.7 million,
and
actually that number is beyond that. That's just for June. We ain't even got it. They didn't even add in July numbers with Splatoon. That's just the end of June numbers. So they believe it's already past 5 million,
which is over a third of what the Wii U sold in just 5 months.
Right. I would say this. I do believe that at this moment, I think Sony is safe to come to that conclusion because it is pretty early in the lifespan of the Switch. But I wouldn't, if I was Sony, I wouldn't rest too comfortable in that thought, strictly because I'm hearing a lot of people, and D2K said it right. It's for some of these folks that I'm talking about, it is an and system. But I feel like a lot of these guys that I heard, and I'm pretty sure Keith Norris can testify to this. Some of these dudes swore they was not going to get a Switch. They was done, and it may have been 2.5, 3 months into it because they didn't believe it's going to be successful. They didn't believe it was going to catch on, and now that it's doing what it's doing, all of them that I've listened to have conceded and went out and got one. I mean, these are popular individuals who swore they wasn't going to get one. They come back and say, well, I'm going to have to basically walk back what I said. I'm going to get a Switch. I want Odyssey. I'm going to get a Switch. I got to get the Splatoon 2. I'm going to get a Switch.
Are they the same people who went ahead and bought Mario Kart 8?
No, these are non-Nintendo guys. No, listen.
That's not fire. It's a joke. It's a joke.
I know it's a shot spot. What I'm saying is, these are non-Nintendo. These are guys like UK Bum. These are like a lot of the podcasts and the individuals I listen to. These are non-Nintendo guys. Didn't care about the Wii U. Don't even talk about Nintendo. It's just Sony and Microsoft. And as I listen to these podcasts, more and more week by week, and Keith listens to one I listen to a whole lot. Nintendo is starting to show up regularly through the podcast. People are asking questions about the Switch. Thought when it first was shown, they did not even care. Don't even spend time on it. Now they're literally getting folks calling in, and it's about the Switch. What do you think about the Switch? I've been interested. Man, I think I want one. And these are hardcore Xbox, hardcore Sony, hardcore PC loving individuals. So,
and they're all hardcore sheep.
Right. Well,
whenever we see everybody else doing something cool or is perceived to be cool, we've got to do it too.
Right. And you're right. That's what I was going to. That's why I was saying Sony, Ryan can't, right now he's able to say that is a truth because most likely majority of these sales is core Nintendo fans with a few here and there that probably ain't. But most of these sales we can probably safely assume is Nintendo fan base, the core adult fan base of Nintendo. But I wouldn't rest on that too much longer. Like
no, you can't sleep on anybody, and there's going to be huge sales for the Switch this holiday season because we haven't seen that yet because it came out earlier this year, so we don't even know what it's going to look like when the Switch is out there for parents to buy this game potentially for their kids when they're out buying consoles for their kids. So that's going to be a completely different situation. But I don't think Sony has any. I think I agree with what they're saying is that the Switch is appealing to a different demographic because all throughout the success the Switch has had, the PlayStation 4 numbers have not stopped at all.
No, but some of that is because of the situation between Nintendo and Apple and securing enough of the materials to make.
That's not nothing to do with it. I'm saying that even with the popularity of the Switch and is selling as well as it has, people are not stopping buying PlayStation 4s. The strength of the sale, the strength of the PlayStation 4 has remained constant throughout the success of the Switch, even when it was available before it was sold out. So I think that what they're saying is that we know the Switch is going to do well, but people are not going to buy the Switch instead of the PlayStation 4. They are more likely to buy the Switch and the PlayStation 4.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. What I'm just going to add to what you're saying because I don't feel like that's a complete picture. You got to factor in reality, real issues that's going on with supply and demand. Right now, Nintendo has sold over 5 million Switches, and that's barely getting enough material to build the Switches to compete and supply the demand for the Switch. So I'm just like, what if they didn't have the Apple situation and they could secure the materials and make way more, where that line in Japan that can actually get those individuals.
I'm not arguing about the Switch.
No, I'm not arguing either. I'm just saying
but the two don't really have anything to do with each other. I mean, whether the Switch sells more than it's selling now or it sells less, my point is that they're saying that the success of the Switch, let's just say that they did have all the pieces to make more Switches. The PlayStation 4 is still going to sell as well as it's selling. And my point is that if that had anything to do with it, with the fact that the Switch is not available because of these parts with Apple or whatnot, then what you're basically saying is that the PlayStation 4 number should have gone up because there's not enough Switches to buy at the current time. I'm saying that even if they were there, it would be just more Switches being sold on top of what's already been sold, and the PlayStation 4 sales would stay the same.
Yeah, I believe there's a possibility that's correct, but I also believe that there's a possibility that folks who walked in who might have wanted to buy a Switch and didn't have it bought a PlayStation or bought an Xbox. So there are sales that are going to Sony and Microsoft from people who might have went there and intended on getting the Switch but can't find one.
I would say that was a very because like you were saying, people who you just got through saying earlier that this marketing to the Switch is not towards the Wii audience and the moms and pops and the casuals, but be towards the millennials, which are the people who are more attracted to the PlayStation 4s and the Xbox Ones and PC games in the first place. So these people are not going into the store looking for a Switch.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what my argument is, D2. That's what me and you are disagreeing. I do believe people, I'm not saying this because of what I think. I'm saying it's because of what I hear folks say on different podcasts, when they call in. Well, I went to find one and I couldn't find one, so I bought a Pro. That's what they said. You can't find one nowhere. Like, I go into Best Buy and there's never a Switch there to get. And when one show up, it's swiped up just like that. I see shelves full of PlayStation 4s. So if I'm going in and I don't know when this platform going to show up and I want to spend some money, I might buy something else that I didn't have.
Well, but you have to remember one thing is like somebody once said is that if you're starving and somebody throws you a cracker, you're going to think this is the most greatest cracker you ever had in your life. But if you had the same crackers every day for a year, you're going to say, hey, I just got some regular old crackers.
So the Eddie Murphy joke. I got that.
Right.
So I'm just saying is that, if the Switch was just there in full and there wasn't a shortage at all, I think a lot of the hype about it wouldn't be there also. And I think that because the Switch, and we've seen Nintendo do this before purposefully to short stock things, to build hype, to create the demand for their console. They did this with the Wii. It's well documented they've done that. I can't say that they did this on purpose with the Switch. I think the reason why this happened with the Switch is because it was rushed, like we've all said before. But it still works in their favor to where, because it's not available, more people are talking about it and more people are curious about it and more people want it, versus if it was full in abundance and it was just there, people might say, maybe I'll wait until the holiday season. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, that's a possibility. I also believe that, if there was more, it might generate even more because the sales be up like, wow, like you said before, people are sheep. If the numbers going through the roof, I got to go get me one. Just like the NES and the Super NES mini stuff. Everybody was scrambling to get one, and now the Walmart basically canceled all the Super NES minis. We could talk about that too, but anyway,
they used the same strategy. They had it and they pulled the plug, and there was none available. And people were like, "We want an NES mini, and there's none available."
Right.
It's the same. I'm not saying that they're wrong for this strategy. I'm just pointing out it's a bait and switch that has works time and time again for Nintendo. But as long as it keeps working, I'm
just gonna say I also think it works the other way, just like what's going on with Sony. I think because Sony is selling so much, like you said before, people being sheep, you want to be a part of the in crowd. So everybody buying Sony, then I'm buying Sony. If there was more Switches available and everybody was buying Switches, then there'd be more people saying, "Well, I want to Switch too." So I think it'll work.
I want to Switch too.
Yeah,
that's my whole point. That's my whole point. They want to switch also.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, K-Bomb or Keith. Who is
Yeah,
going to say
I want to chime in on what you were talking about with the podcast. Stuff that I've been hearing, and one thing that I didn't hear y'all bring up was that Nintendo has a really good lineup this year. I don't know if anybody considers that. I was listening to a podcast called Spawn on Me. If you want to check it out, one of the guys was like, and this is subjective, this is his opinion, but he said Nintendo probably has the best lineup out that's coming out this year, bar none. That was his opinion.
Best? You mean best out of any console?
Out of any console.
What games did he bring up?
He was bringing up the stuff that, well, outside of Zelda and Splatoon, he was bringing up stuff that's coming out later, like Mario Rabbids, Odyssey, and I think he brought up, it wasn't Fire Emblem, it was Xenoblade, I believe.
It's Xenoblade
Chronicles
2.
Now, I want to ask you a question. Now, you're a Nintendo fan.
Opinion.
No, it's not true. No, I know. But I just want to get your opinion on this. Now, because you probably know more than me about the games that are coming out for the Switch this year. The only thing I know about is the Fire Emblem and the Rabbids and the Odyssey and did they say Xenoblade was this year or was that the next year?
No, it was this year.
It's this year. I mean, I know about a couple of things, but if you're a Nintendo fan, based off of what we saw in the initial reveal for the Switch and what we saw at E3, obviously you have a lot to be excited.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not, what am I excited about this year for the Switch?
Let me flip that question. We got K-Bum here, and I want to ask a question. K-Bum 20. And the reason I'm putting this at you because you now D2K, I think you own an Xbox One and a PC, right? D2.
I'm on whatever is making the games that I want to play.
Right, and you must do a lot of retro gaming too, though, right?
Yep, because okay. I can't go wrong with stuff that I already know is tight.
That's the question. Now, Keith Norris is a PC owner, and he a Nintendo fan. I'm a Nintendo fan. I own all three. K-Bum is a Sony first. He owns an Xbox. Plan on getting a PC, considering a Switch, but right now it's mostly PlayStation 4. Yep. On your PlayStation 4, what have you bought game-wise in the last 2 months?
For one thing, I don't buy games.
What have you got through?
Okay. GameFly.
GameFly.
All right. So in the past 2 months, so that would be Tekken.
Mm-hmm.
Third party.
Tekken is sitting here. I bought. MLB.
Third party.
Baseball.
Okay.
Oh, the MLB. Never mind.
That's first party. That's first party.
Yeah. And
it ain't really third party, first party. It's not a third party, first party question. But I just want to know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's it. I've all the game from GameFly. I have Zero Dawn, but
have you played it?
No.
All right.
Still haven't played that yet?
I'm going somewhere with this. What? Okay, in the last 4 months, what have you gotten from GameFly that you kept?
That I kept?
Yeah.
I know I sent back. I know I've bought some games, not on GameFly, but I bought some games. I bought FIFA. I bought NHL 17. I bought.
So that came out last year, right?
It came out last year, but I bought it this year.
Okay, you bought it, but I'm talking about like that came out this year that K-Bum has either got from GameFly or bought.
It'll be what I've written because I don't buy too much from GameFly.
Yeah, I said whatever you rented or what you bought this year. What has it been?
For Honor was one of the games that I got this year.
Okay.
But that was, as we know, that was trash.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what else I got. I gotta look at my queue to see what else I got because I get them and if I don't need them, I send them. They gone.
Now the reason I asked that question, I bet if I turned around and I asked Keith for the Switch, since the launch to now, what have you bought?
Launch to now, Zelda, Mario Kart, Splatoon 2. I think those are all. I did buy what's that dude with the funny game.
Isaac.
It's I took that back.
Right.
I got rid of that, and I got a bunch of digital games, like a bunch of stuff that I can't recall. But Master Blaster, Shantae came out this year. Mighty Gun Bus something.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of other games and Kimiko or something like that.
The reason I asked that question is because K-Bum was real upfront about his when it comes to gaming. Like he said, the last thing he bought that I remember him talking about that was this year was For Honor, and he's like that was garbage. And I was like, K-Bum been playing Overwatch. Every time I listen to him talk about what he's been gaming on, it's been something that came out either last year or like NBA 2K. I think it was 17. Madden 17, Tekken has been the most latest, and that's the only thing I bought for the PlayStation 4 that came out this year. You got Horizon, but you haven't even played it, but you still playing Witcher 3.
Yep.
You still playing. So when Keith says this dude say that right now, if you look across the spectrum of game companies, and this ain't no fan war stuff. I'm just being honest here. Owning all three platforms, there's nothing that I want on third party or first party from Microsoft. I want to play Horizon Zero Dawn, but I'm not hungry to. But that is a good game. And Tekken, which I did buy. You might, and I'm considering getting what's that game with the superheroes? It play like Mortal Kombat. Injustice. I want to get Injustice, but outside of that, there is nothing that's out right now, third party or first party on any one of them platforms that's talking to anybody. But
I disagree a little bit
now. Because go ahead, that's what I'm asking.
It is the taste of it, because this is my normal summer buying habit. Is that I don't get too much during the summer, but you have to know that I'm still particular about what I want to buy. You still have Nier Automata, whatever that came.
Yeah, that's a good game. Yeah, that's
you had Neo that came out, but none of them appealed to me. But those were two really good games that came out.
Yeah, I ain't saying no. I'm not saying no good games, but I'm saying
it doesn't appeal to me because
right. But them are good games though. Them are good games.
I did buy Call of Duty. I did buy that to play the old school Call of Duty.
Right. So, but what I'm saying is, like, if you look like every game that Keith named, or I could name like Zelda, Splatoon 2, ARMS, Mario Kart 8 are all 1 million plus sellers already. ARMS only been out a month, under a month, and it's 1 million plus. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is 3.5 million already. Zelda is 4 million already. So, and that's just Switch numbers. That's not adding in the Zelda that sold on the Wii U. So it's there, folks. I think they do have, if we be technical right now, the Switch does has the best lineup of games.
I disagree.
Well, I want to add.
They'll disagree with that because.
But I'm asking you to ain't nobody naming anything.
Okay. So
I haven't said anything yet.
When we're talking
go ahead. I mean, I didn't just you, K-Bum. Keith, you can answer that if you want to.
No, let K-Ball go first.
Yeah, no, we're talking about. Okay, so I want to make sure that we're being clear on this.
Okay.
So, amount of games being purchased does not equal quality of game.
Right.
Because again, these are Nintendo titles, and people who buy Nintendo systems buy Nintendo titles.
Just like people who buy Sony systems buy Sony.
No, they don't.
When I say that, I mean they buy what's there for Sony.
Wow.
Not distinguishing. See, y'all going third. Y'all are going third party, first party. I'm not doing that. I'm buying what's ever there that I like, third party or not. I got Tekken 7 on the PlayStation 4. That's not first party Sony, but I included it in a good game that's out.
No, I agree. The argument I was making is not about good game. Like I said, I was talking about number of games sold is not 100% equal to quality of game. That's what I was trying to say. And
I agree with that.
And I was using that point, and I was also using the point that Nintendo first party, which a lot of those big selling games on Nintendo system are mostly first party Nintendo games. People are going to buy first party Nintendo regardless. Because if you're telling me that 1-2 Switch is better than
I didn't even bring up 1-2 Switch.
No, because we were talking about we were using numbers.
No, you were using numbers. I was not using them. I just sold they sold.
Millions. You said Mario Kart 4 million. This million.
But K-Bum, what games? Listen to the games that I named. I didn't say 1-2 Switch or anything. I said specific
it has
games.
$1 million though.
Right, but that, like you said, numbers don't equal quality. Every game that I named is quality. Mario Kart 8 is quality. That's a AAA game. Zelda is a AAA game. Arms is a AA game. Splatoon is a AAA game. And all them games are in the #1 sales. Plus, they moving. I'm saying name any game on Xbox and Sony that's anybody is talking about right now. That's what I'm saying. And then the only one we can say is Tekken 7 and Horizon Zero Dawn.
I still think they had their time in the spotlight with Nihon and Nier Automata. They had their time in the spotlight. They came, everyone talked about it, and now they're gone because they're still more.
Okay, then let's add.
They're still more.
Let's add Neo in.
They are, but they were still quality and highly regarded and reviewed video games.
I'm not arguing that I said Neo is quality. I said I came on here and rant and raved about Armada.
I know.
What I'm saying is, when I look at what's out to buy right now on the PlayStation 4 for this year, I can't say first party or third that is better than. Now, this is my personal feeling. I ain't telling y'all to agree with me. What I see to buy for the Switch.
Well, you know I don't agree with you, so it's
no, you don't agree with me, but I'm not telling you to. But if I look at review scores, if I look at my own interest and then the quality of the game, and I look at what's out there on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, I would say, me personally, that the games that are available at this point in time for the Switch are better games than what's out, including Neo, including Armada. Even though those are good games, they're not Mario Kart 8, they're not Splatoon 2, they're not Zelda Breath of the Wild. No, they're not. Them games don't compare. It's a good game, but it don't compare to them games. That's what I'm saying. And I like the games. And the only one that I bought is Tekken 7. So I asked you, what have you bought? The only thing that you have kept is Horizon Zero Dawn. You didn't get none of them other games, and you got Tekken. The same games I got. So I'm saying that when Keith says the dude made, I believe that it's a fair point to make. Right now, if you look at the lineup and the quality of games that's there, what's been offered first party or third party for this year, I would say Nintendo has, up to this point, had a better offer than anybody else. That's all I'm saying. But you don't have to agree with that. Go ahead, D2, whoever wanted to go.
Let me jump in right quick.
Go ahead.
So a few months ago, we was on the podcast and we were talking about will Orange stop the trend, and obviously it hadn't stopped the trend, and the Switch is still going strong. And then we got Pokken Tournament coming out, Mario Rabbids coming out. But here I'm gonna bring up two games, and this will prove whether or not Nintendo, the fan base, is actually buying these games and just not, just buying Nintendo games. We got WWE 2K18 and NBA 2K18 coming out this year. If these games don't move numbers, even though the Switch is highly rated right now, is highly sought out there, if those games don't move numbers, then it's just Nintendo fans all over again, in my opinion. I could be wrong.
Good.
That's a fair point.
That's very fair because these games aren't going to be half done. These are going to be pretty 100%. Much 1-to-1 when it comes to Nintendo and it comes to the PS4 and the Xbox One. So
yeah, I agree. I agree that.
Skyrim.
if them games come out and Nintendo fans don't support them games, yeah, that's gonna mean that we back to you just supporting first party titles. That I wasn't making it a first party, third party. I'm just saying.
I know you weren't. I know you wasn't. But
that is a good point.
Can I
go ahead, DGK? Go ahead.
This is kind of a house of cards argument to me for several reasons. Number one, Keith said it earlier that this is subjective because what someone deems to be a great game is in that basically it's behold of that individual. Because I can say that Splatoon is the greatest game ever. I can say that Horizon Zero Dawn is the greatest game ever. I can say that, Halo Wars 2 is the greatest game ever, and someone else can think it is trash. I mean, there are games that are coming out for all three consoles, but if it's something that doesn't interest you, you're not going to talk about it, and you're certainly not going to hype it up if you're not interested in it at all. So you have to think about it from that standpoint. The other standpoint is that when you talk about Splatoon, you talk about Mario Kart, these are games that we played already.
Well, I'll give you that with Mario Kart, but I won't give you that with
Splatoon 2 is basically like Keith just said, Splatoon 1.5.
And that's Call of Duty.
It's basically
we shouldn't buy Madden, we shouldn't buy NBA, none, because them are the same games too.
I didn't say what you should or shouldn't buy. I said that you're talking about games that are the reason why they have the best lineup this year, and I'm bringing up the fact that Splatoon 2 is basically what Splatoon 1 should have been. Mario Kart Deluxe is what Mario Kart 8 should have been.
I don't agree with that. I agree with Mario Kart. I don't agree with that saying that was Splatoon. But go ahead.
So you're saying that Splatoon 2, Splatoon 1 is better than Splatoon 2?
No, but I don't believe Splatoon 2 is what Splatoon 1 should have been. I believe Splatoon 1 was a great game.
So everything that was wrong. So basically, they didn't fix anything that might have been wrong with the first one. Is that what you're trying to say?
I can say
you said the game looks better, right?
I can say that about Mario Galaxy 1 to Mario Galaxy 2. Mario Galaxy 2 improved on Mario Galaxy 1, but that didn't mean Mario Galaxy 1 wasn't good.
So are you saying that Splatoon 2 is a completely different game?
No, it's not. I'm not saying. I'm saying when you say that.
But you can't throw you can't use the Mario Galaxy analogy because those are two completely different games.
No,
you had two completely different paths that you get to the end. It's not like they took Mario Galaxy and reskinned it.
Right, that's my point. That's why I'm using it. They did take Mario Galaxy and reskin it and added stages that they meant to add into the first one. That's what it was. It was stages that they couldn't add into the first one that they made a game out of.
Okay, well, if that's the truth, then that doesn't take away from what I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying I didn't agree.
Let's disagree. I mean, you're basically saying that two of the best games that you highlighted in your reel of games that are better games to offer than what Microsoft and Sony has are games that you've already done before. Then you add in a new game, which is ARMS. That's new. You add in Zelda. That's new. Those are two good games. You got Rabbids coming out now. I would defy anybody that could find a Nintendo fan that knew anything about XCOM before this game was announced.
Me.
I did.
I almost bought it, but I didn't because it was on sale on Steam.
I mean, it seems like because I don't hear no Nintendo fans talking about such games until this was announced. Now, all of a sudden, everybody is a strategic game fan, and they can't wait to do this, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if the game's going to be any good, but it seems kind of hypocritical with people talking about how great this game is going to be, and they've never played any such game before.
I do remember Keith calling it out when we were watching it live, and I think he called it out and said, "Oh, that's XCOM." And not to get not to,
and we know that Mario
your point across.
Yeah.
I just want to give credit to Keith.
Right. Well, we'll give him credit. Yes. And we know that Mario Odyssey is going to be good. So that's a nice lineup. But to say that it's the best, like I said, it goes back to it being relative and subjective. Because, if you say that, well, Splatoon 2 is better than what I had before, but this experience is not completely new. It's just better than what I had before. Mario Kart Deluxe is the same thing. Zelda is Zelda. So, it's really, I'm not going to sit here and say that Nintendo doesn't have a good lineup of games. I'm just not going to sit here and say that they have the best to offer anybody who's coming in that doesn't own anything and they're looking to say, okay, who has the best to offer me? Because if you're a Nintendo fan and you don't buy those games that you mentioned, Level, what are you playing?
Okay. There's a few things I want to reply to. First of all, if we're going to say Nintendo is a and system, then we got to stay in the reality that these people who buy the and system have other consoles. So there is a possibility that while they don't talk about an XCOM, they have played it because the Nintendo is an and system. They got other systems and they play these other games. I knew about XCOM. I don't play that, and I'm not really truly interested in buying Mario versus Rabbids because of the style of game. Just like I didn't buy, but that's me, and there's a lot of people like me.
But good that you're being honest about that. Thank you. But to go back to your point and why I was disagreeing with you only on Splatoon is because while yes, it's not unfamiliar to me, neither is Uncharted 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. All of these were improvements on a formula. I just didn't agree when you said that Splatoon 2 is basically Splatoon 1. No, it's not. Whereas Mario Kart. Actually, Keith said it was 1.5.
Yeah, he said it was 1.5, but I didn't agree with Keith.
To me, when I hear 1.5, I think that it's whatever you got before plus a little bit more. That's what I kind of get. That's what I take from that.
It's a brand new game from top to bottom. But go ahead, Level.
Yeah, I understood why Keith was saying it. I didn't necessarily agree with the 1.5, but I didn't disagree with it either. It's like you can say that, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is Mario Kart 8. That's what it is. There's nothing different about it, just better resolution, and they added in what they added in with the balloon fight. Splatoon 2 to Splatoon 1 is very different in a lot of aspects. The stages are way bigger. Totally new maps that you didn't like. There was only 2 returning maps. All the other maps are brand new maps. Weapons are different. Clothing different. Storyline is different. So
it's a different game.
It's a different game. That's the only reason I was disagreeing with you.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. But
we can replace that with Fast RMX then.
Yeah, Fast RMX is basically Fast Racing Nemo upscaled. Yeah, that's a fair. That's
more tracks and more machines to use. Yeah.
But what I was saying is I wasn't, and I don't know how we got on this, but anyway, I wasn't saying.
Well, we got on this because somebody gonna try to say this is the best lineup.
No,
ever.
I didn't.
No, I didn't say you.
He said and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because K-Bomb 20 and D2K was about to just no, and I was like, I can't let you do that. But I feel like there is, if you look at what's out for all the platforms, yeah, it is subjective, like you said, D2K. It is very subjective. But if we step out of our subjectivity and be objective and be fair and just look at games for games, not what we align with the game, but K-Bum can look at Zelda, even though he don't care to play it, and say Zelda.
That's why I do think it's a good game, because I care to play it.
Right, but you can look at a game that you don't care to play and still give it that it's a good game. You might not,
but you know what, Level? I would it's not a question about Nintendo's first party, because there's never been a time in history when anybody's been able to out first party Nintendo, going all back to the color TV game. They've always been a champion in that area.
TV game.
Yeah. So but my thing is that, Sony's first party doesn't compare to Nintendo. Microsoft's first party, sure enough, doesn't compare to Nintendo. But if you get rid of all the first party from Microsoft and all the first party from Sony, they still have the third party. But if you get rid of the first party from Nintendo, like I just asked you and you didn't answer the question, what are you playing?
Okay. I don't know if you're gonna answer that question. I'm gonna let you think about that. I want to point out something.
Keith, you was a dirty one. Anyway, I'm playing. If it ain't a first party title, I'm playing Snake Pass.
Oh gosh.
I know. Street Fighter,
Multiplat.
Fast RMX. What else I got up there? It ain't many. So I give you that.
Wasn't Fast RMX be considered a second party though? Kind of.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could say that. So basically, right now it'd be Street Fighters, which I don't even want to bring that one up. So right now, nothing. You're not playing anything that ain't first party. Be honest with you. Go ahead.
I want to point something out that we're all guilty of this, because D2K was saying that Splatoon 2 is basically the same game from the last time, but it was something that D2K said earlier. And when Level was bringing out all the consoles and PCs that we have, and he said that D2K plays on retro games, and what did D2K say? He said, I already know these games are good.
Yeah.
So we all are guilty of this. You know what I'm saying? K-Bum, he's buying sports games every year. We buy Nintendo games every year because we know that these certain Nintendo games are going to be good. We're all guilty of that. And the second thing I want to bring out, when you was talking about D2K, when you were talking about Mario plus Rabbids, these gamers do play on Fire Emblem, which is a strategy game. It may not be the same type of strategy game, but they do play not Mario. Gosh, got me thinking about that. Fire Emblem. That's the game I was thinking about. They do play Fire Emblem, so they do play tactical strategy games, and you can play one right now for free on your phone, Fire Emblem Heroes. So I just want to bring those out there, just so it's anybody listening, like, well, what about this stuff? So.
Okay. And I'm going to name one more, because somebody in the comment section just saved me. Who was this? Cornelius saved me with NBA Playgrounds. That's a third party title.
but nobody played that, so that don't even count.
I do play it, but I didn't think about it. So, but yeah.
But go ahead, K-Ball. Yeah, you do.
No, this ain't no fake NBA Jam looking game. No. One thing I'm telling y'all, hating on sports games.
No, I'm not hating on the sports game.
I'm about to show y'all. I'm gonna start tweeting every time they talk about stuff that's made different year to year to these games, because 2K just dropped like a 5-page article of just all the changes they made to their franchise modes, and people actually think sports games are the same game year to year. But anyway, go ahead.
No, I think D2K was going to say, but let me say something to that, and I'll give it to D2K. I was saying that Splatoon is using the foundation. 2 is using the foundation of Splatoon, just like every Madden every year uses the previous Madden and builds up on it, add new pieces to it. Call of Duty does that. Battlefield does that. Mario does that. Every game that has a 2 or 3 and 4 behind it is basically building off of what was before. Only new IPs, and even those to an extent borrow from other IPs. But that's all I meant by it. Like, I didn't think that was anything to knock Splatoon for using basically the template of Splatoon and improving on it. It is improvements, but it ain't the same game. Just like Madden 17 is not the exact. Well, sometimes
Madden 17 is the same as that game.
It's, I mean, I say that, like I still have Madden 15, and if I feel like playing Madden, I play that. But I played the newer Maddens, and I don't feel like missing anything.
Right. There you go. And you could say that. I'll give you this, D2K. You could, if you play Splatoon 1 and play Splatoon 2 and just casually played it, you can say I'm getting the exact same experience from this that I got from the original. I would concede there. But there is some nuances to it that I could argue that makes it drastically different too.
But yeah, and newer is not necessarily better, because I own NBA 2K12 and I own NBA 2K16, and while 2K16 runs circles around it in terms of visuals, I can't stand it. I'd rather play 2K12.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Level, because I specifically played Splatoon 1 today after I got off Splatoon 2. I was playing with Dr. Feelgood, and he was busting heads. So I got on Splatoon 1, and it had me missing the gamepad. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I kind of missed this thing.
Right.
And honestly, I felt like the motion was slightly better on the first game. Not to say that the first game is better, but I feel like the motion, it just felt better. I guess because of the tablet.
Well, yeah. it was the game, the whole demographic of the game was built with the gamepad in mind. So they had to basically redesign the game without it in mind. So I think I think it does kind of lose a little something in the transition.
We could go into talking about a little bit, because I just didn't want to make this a Nintendo conversation.
No, we don't need to do that.
Let's
keep.
I'll just say that game was hard to look at though. D2K. It was hard to. I was like, this game. The textures. It was hard to look at.
The textures and the jaggies and the lighting and
I will say this. Keith, the original Splatoon is faster.
Yes.
It's way faster than this Splatoon, but I think because the original Splatoon was more narrow and more linear,
more streamlined
than this game, where the space is so like this game it's got huge stages. Like the space you covering is way wider than what was on the original, so you can actually escape from people, whereas the first one, you couldn't get past the person because you didn't have enough space to get around.
You might have to sacrifice some gameplay elements to make it look better.
So yeah, it definitely was faster. But anyway, anything else before we move on? K-Bug?
Man, move on, man.
All right, so
Nintendo.
Now we've been talking about Microsoft and this Xbox One. And I'm starting to hear, and this is something we was all talking about early on, like we didn't see the point of it, but we was holding out our criticism or our thoughts on it until we actually saw it. And I was listening to Gamertag Radio, I want to say about a week back, and they made an interesting point that I just did not pay attention to, and then I started hearing it on other podcasts that I listen to and other YouTube channels that I follow. At this present time, you cannot pre-order an Xbox One X. Am I mistaken on that?
I think you're right.
So you can't pre-order it. You're not hearing anybody talk about it no more since E3. Have you heard anybody say anything about the Xbox One X? Like all the steam for the platform immediately deflated and left right at the E3. We don't hear about it no more.
Well, I know why. One of the major reasons why, but continue.
Yeah, I'm interested. I want to hear your thoughts. But so the question is, if you can't pre-order it right now, and that is not creating buzz because people are out trying to pre-order. You're hearing about the numbers. And you can't, the pre-orders are all sold out, which is probably going to happen anyway. Is this console a dud on arrival? Not meaning it's a bad console, not meaning it's not a capable console, meaning just from the interest and the I guess the momentum that has been built up. Is this console looking like it might be dead on arrival? I'm hearing a lot of folks say that, and I got to thinking about it. I was like, I haven't heard anything about the X since E3. So you can answer that, and then I'll throw it to you, D2K, because you said you had something to say about it. Then you can answer that, and then go into what you had to say. Go ahead.
Well, I think that a lot of the steam, was let out of the room when the whole thing about the checkerboarding came out. Because people felt like, well, you've been doing all this talking about how this is going to be a true 4K console. It's going to give us true native 4K 60 frames per second, and then we found out that it's going to be using the same type of techniques that the PS4 Pro is using, yet you're charging us $100 more for a little bit better.
When did that come out? My bad.
I heard about that. He telling the truth. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, when did that come out? Because I missed that. They slid that right past me. Then.
That was right away.
It was like maybe a week removed from E3. They told it that it was. You also did a similar thing.
They doing checkerboard too. Oh,
yeah. They had to get out in front of it before. What's that? Digital Foundry blew the lid off of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, once that came out, people were like, "Are you serious? Really?" Because you were basically building this thing as the end all be all, you know, oh, we got this new redesigned Jaguar processor, and we got this Polaris GPU, and we got 12 gigs of GDR5 RAM, and it's got this liquid cooling system, and it's this and that and that. And you know, the first red flag is when we saw that all the games that were showing off this game console were basically multiplats, and the first party titles were either things we had already seen before or games we weren't really interested in the first place. And then you come out with this old checkerboarding thing. People are like, I ain't got time to be worried about this. I'll wake me up when it comes out later on this year. And that's pretty much what a lot of people are saying about it. I mean, it's not like it's not intriguing to people, but there's no reason to even think about it right now because it's a long way off. And like you just said, you can't pre-order it. And it's not that big of an upgrade over what you're getting. You can go buy it from the store right now with the PlayStation 4 Pro. So, you know, it did leave a lot of steam left the room. I can't say that it's dead on arrival because I don't know how people are going to react because people will surprise you. You think that they're going to do A and they'll do B. You think they're going to zig, they're going to zag. So who knows what is going to happen when this game comes out. Maybe they got a lot of games that they haven't announced yet that will actually show up the benefits of why I should pay $500 for this. And like maybe they'll have their own little show like Sony did last year that really shows off what this console can do. And there'll be first party games so that these will be games that you know you can only play on the Xboxone X. But at the same time, I don't see what they can do because if you're going to make this a play anywhere thing or a PC game, then I don't need this thing. It's superfluous. I could just play it on the PC. And people who really want the best of the best graphics and the best of the best, frame rate, they already have a gaming rig PC. They don't need to be worried about any of this stuff. So I don't know what they're going to do. It's really weird.
Yeah, I forgot all about that, the announcement of the checkerboard, but I do remember hearing folks say that it's basically doing the same thing the PlayStation 4 Pro is doing, just at a better level. But so yeah, that was kind of a blow because you kind of sound hypocritical if you're gonna sit up here and like you said, D2K, the whole time you boasting up the platform like it's doing something totally different from the way that Sony is accomplishing it, and then you come out and you doing what Sony is doing. It kind of make you look kind of hypocritical. But go ahead, Keith or K-Bun, whoever want to go next.
K-Bun, you want to go?
No, go ahead, man. I'm reading up on this checkerboard stuff, man. Hold on, player. You go ahead.
All right. Is it dead on arrival? I can't say that. I don't know, but when you really sit back and think about it, what is it really doing outside of the games that D2K just brought up? That's going to be across multiple platforms, not only the PC but Windows 10, but you also got the original Xbox One, and then you got the Xboxone X. So if all you're offering is checkerboarding 4K and 4K with some games, I think like Forza 7 is like true 4K. I just don't see the point really, and I guess that's my hang up on it. And my bias is telling me, yeah, it's dead on arrival, but I don't know what the fans are going to do. I would like for Microsoft to, do well with it, but I think I heard that they're selling it at cost. So if they do sell one, it's not going to be a loss for them. So they're pretty wise in what they're doing. So I don't think they may not make profit from it, but they are going to generate a lot of hype around the games, and that's probably where they're going to get all their money from. And they also always bring out new controllers, so you can be excited about that. That was a joke for anybody. because they always announcing controllers. But no, I don't know if it's dead on arrival, man. I think it's too soon to say. But then you got to look at the stuff that's surrounding it. You got Odyssey coming out later this year. I don't know what Sony has coming out. It's an Uncharted, that DLC coming out. Is that this year?
I don't know. I know you got the Zelda DLC coming.
Zelda DLC. So you got a lot of stuff going against it. You know, like let's say a person goes to the store and say, I can get this Xboxone X, or I can just go ahead and buy this game and play on my current console and also get these other games. It's like, is it really worth $500 to play the same games that I already can play? So I don't know. I'm leaning toward yes, but I don't want to really say that. I'm in between.
Hey, Bob.
Man, this thing dead, man. I'm reading this article, man. This thing. Okay, so let me get to what I'm going. So I'm noticing, this is what I'm saying, and this is kind of how it's going to play out. What I said from the very beginning for E3 started, what I said was that Xbox needs to ditch the whole parity thing of being able to play, that Xbox X is not going to have its own games, and they should have allowed Xbox X games only if they wanted this thing to sell, since the way they're promoting it and the way they're selling it and the price they're selling it for, to almost make it like a mini new next generation. And the fact that so their first parties are probably all going to be in 4K, native 4K. I have very little doubt that they won't be, because they're going to push their first party. But here's the rip. When you have this 4K capable system, correct? But you have people like EA, Bungie, Activision, Ubisoft, who has to make a game for the PS4, the Xbox S, the Xbox X, and the PS4 Pro 4. Why not, instead of creating 4 different, just create 2 different? So you have your lower level, which is your PS4 and Xbox S, and then you have your higher level, which is which is the PS4 Pro and the Xbox X. And so I can see them going kind of for how they done before, kind of the lowest common denominator, and going for pro level graphics, even though the X can do more. I even saw some brief comments about Madden, and one of the Madden developers was asked about the enhancements for the X versus the Pro. His response is that they're pretty much going to look the same. So when first parties, you're going to get that native 4K. When it comes to third party, it's up in the air. I'm going to lean on probably getting checkerboard, and probably getting something similar that's going to look very similar, if not just slightly different on the Pro, which means it's not going to justify that extra $100 on a system that is already selling less than its competitor. So I don't know if I want to call it dead on arrival, but it's going to get a couple blocks and the car's going to die.
All right, so I was looking at some of the.
That's kind of what I mean when I'm saying that. I'm not meaning it ain't gonna sell, but it's gonna quickly fizz out. Like
it won't be much. I mean, it's higher than its competitor, and its competitor, since it's been out for a year, can come back and drop it another $50 they want it, and drop the Pro to $350, and that's even more attractive. Compared to a $499 Xbox X.
How did Microsoft squeeze? How did they get themselves in this predicament, man? It's just
it's still left a third party to utilize that 4K, and as we know, third party they're not used to creating all these different versions of the game. And I don't, and it's not that different between the Pro and probably the PlayStation 4, but you still want to add the assets that allows the PS4 Pro and the Xbox X to utilize and to kind of, as much as you can, optimize it. And so if you can find cheap ways to do it, aka checkerbox, I think for your development time, for a lot of people, that's going to be the route they're going to go. Because remember, they were talking about how Anthem and they were praising Anthem, and even that game was checkerboard.
But do you think that the developers are basically holding the Xbox One back to the PS4 Pros level? And like,
Yes.
that's no, okay.
Yeah, you got to finish your sentence. The answer is yes.
Okay.
And that's
So
what Sony actually said that the PlayStation 4 Pro was going to do to the Xbox One. Sony said it.
But the thing is go ahead. Well, yeah, go ahead.
I was pretty much done. I not to go too far off the subject, but I just wanted to point out 2 games that's coming out in November. It comes out in November, right?
Yeah.
Xbox One. Okay, so they got Crackdown 3, which is coming to Xbox One and the PC, and I'm not even going to look at the game on PC. I'm sorry, not on the radar. And then Super Lucky's Tale, and then all the rest of them are, you know, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and PC, which is Call of Duty, Need for Speed, Star Wars Battlefront, which looks amazing, by the way.
Yes,
that might help it. That might be one that helps it, but
so that game looks amazing. So if fans are willing to spend that extra $100 or maybe even $150, like Kayvon said, Sony could drop that price just for the extra little crispiness of graphics. I personally wouldn't do it. It's kind of a hard sell, you know what I'm saying? You can keep that money and buy all these games, or most of these games.
But Sea of Thieves though, bro.
Nah, bro.
Okay, go ahead, DGK. You was going to say something.
I forgot.
Well, let me ask this, man. We getting close to the time to get out of here. Did any one of y'all get a chance to check out Street Fighter's esports on ESPN live telecast?
I knew that was happening.
I didn't either.
Yeah, about a week and a half back. My boy called me, King Cooper called me. He's like, man, are you watching ESPN? I was like, nah. He's like, man, they telecasting broadcasting Street Fighters 5 tournament, and it was like on for like 3 hours straight. Oh. And dude, I found myself, if it wasn't for Game of Thrones, I wouldn't have never turned away from it. And the only reason I turned, because Game of Thrones is about to come on. I couldn't miss Game of Thrones because it was the actual first episode. So I turned to watch it. So I left off from watching it. And some black guy that took the tournament, from what I heard, he won the whole thing. But what do y'all think, man? Are we starting to see, if they starting to broadcast live esports on ESPN, do you think this is a game changer?
I don't think so. And ESPN is they're an entertainment company now. They're not a sports company. You know, they cover WWE like it's a sport. So it's you know, you can't take anything seriously. They hype up stuff.
But it is a sport. It's real though.
I'm just saying that they care more about the. Well, I mean, wrestling is, you know, it's an athletic competition in terms of what you have to do to make it look real, but it's, you know, it's predetermined winners. But to the point, it's, you know, I don't know. They just capitalize anything that seems new, that's going to bring more to their channels and whatnot. They're going to do it. They over sensationalize everything.
I will say this, man. The arena that they had, wherever they were, bro, it looked like a WWE arena. It was packed. It was packed out. And,
I would like to see stuff like that because, like I said, I've always said that how cool it was to see a movie like The Wizard back when I was a kid. When you saw them playing, you know, they had the power gloves on, and then they showed Super Mario 3 and stuff like that. I mean, this is the type of stuff Nintendo needs to be getting. They need to do stuff like this. They need to be partnering with, you know, ESPN and do like a Splatoon tournament on TV, a Smash Bros tournament on TV, and then unveil something on TV, you know, where everybody can see it and stuff like that. You know, that's the type of thing that you really want to do if you want to get that esports crowd and then get the switch over as something that could be used potentially in esports scenario. So, but that's a different conversation.
He said no, it wasn't. It was Tokido. Is how you say that? Well, I mean, I got it wrong. But anyway, yeah, I'm with you on that.
I did want to say something about that level.
Yeah, I was coming straight to you. Like maybe Street Fighter 5. I mean, to me, Street Fighter 5 worked. I thought it was dope. But what if they start doing like an NBA 2K or Madden? Like keep K-Bomb. I was going to come to you. Like, would that impress you?
Well, this isn't the first time ESPN has televised gaming, a sports gaming event. This is not the first time. They've done this several times before. I think it was with League of Legends, I believe. It was one of the first ones that they televised. Well, so somebody crunching on something good.
That's me. This is my mini sweet tar salad.
Okay. No. This isn't the first time. And with that, I think this is a trend with sports. The esports is growing and will continue to grow. I don't think this event is a game changer. I think the game changers have been going on behind the scenes for the longest. CS:GO is regularly televised on TBS. I don't know if you caught that before. But CS:GO has been televised, their tournaments on TBS several times. And so the esports has grown, and the Madden tournament, even though I think some of it was televised on TV, but reached huge numbers when streaming online. So this is a continuation of a trend that I'm seeing. I don't think this one moment has been a game changer. I think this is a continuation of a trend that has been moving forward when coming to televising of esports. That is going to continue to do nothing but grow, and be shown on even more channels and have even more televisions adapt and show these esports.
Yeah, I don't really care about this. I'm not gonna turn on. I barely turn on ESPN now, man. I be watching FS1.
No, don't tell me. You don't tell me you watch Skip Bayless.
I be watching Skip and Shannon, man.
Stop it. Shannon I like Shannon, but sometimes Shannon be sound like he coming straight out of the 1930s, man. I be like, Shannon.
He does. He does. I ain't gonna lie.
Skip. Come on now. Come on, Skip. Don't say that. Brun. I'm gonna call Brun. I'm like, dude, would you get your words together before you start trying to say them?
Hey, it's a spot on impersonation.
I listen to him, man. I like Shannon Sharp, but Skip Bayless, I like Skip too, but Skip be getting on my nerves. And Stephen A. been getting on my nerves a whole lot lately too.
Let me give you a start on George Jefferson.
Yeah. George Jefferson.
Shady hairline and all.
Man, that stuff he said. Well, anyways, let's not get into that.
I do want to add something else, because I know I was talking about the esports and stuff like that. NBA 2K, they are actually having 19 of the NBA teams are sponsoring program teams for the new NBA 2K18 this coming season. Those NBA teams are going to have their own teams, esports teams. They're going to support them, and they're going to support their own league inside of NBA 2K. So, like I said, this has been a trend that's been growing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm depending on the game, and I was probably supported anyway. But like Street Fighters got me. If they had like Street Fighters again, or Tekken, or like NBA 2K or Madden, I'll watch it. I ain't gonna front. I will watch it, and I think it is valuable. I think it's something that I hope gets even more airtime, because I think it could really do wonders for those sports communities and those competitive gamers. If they can capture what that one dude did on Third Strike, where he parried all Chun-Li's kicks. He only had like, I don't know who that dude was, but he parried all Chun-Li's kicks and did his super or whatever and won the game. And I ain't never seen nothing like that in my life when he literally parried like almost 10 kicks in a row. It was pretty dope. I mean, it'd be amazing me what cats can do with these games, man. And the more it gets, I guess, spotlighted, I think the greater it is for the gaming industry, man. They might start taking these dudes serious because they do take a lot of talent. If they do. So,
I will say this: it's one of those things you have to. I think you have to be there. Like you have to be in the crowd watching it and feeling the energy. It's kind of like for me in baseball. I cannot watch baseball on TV.
Mm-hmm.
But I can take me to the game. I have a good time. But
you want to nap?
I don't want to watch the game at the game. On TV.
Have you been to a game before?
Yeah, I've been to the Cardinals. And all I was eating was bratwurst and
What's wrong with that?
No, I was fine with that because I wasn't into I don't care for watching baseball live. Football and basketball, when I went to the live, it was like I was watching it at home. But baseball, I was bored there and at home. I was like, get me up out of here, man. This is boring. But yeah, I feel you though.
One last thing, like if I stop talking about the esports thing. I was playing Overwatch, and these kids were naming their favorite Overwatch players, like we talk about LeBron. Like wow. they were like, nah, man, the best Genji is blah 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 blah. No, yes. Man, this person the best Genji player in the world. No, man, the best Zenyatta player. I'm like, man, go watch real sports. What is y'all doing in y'all lives?
Is it sad that I think that's sad?
No.
Is it sad that you think that's sad?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I mean, it's. I don't see any problem, but that's no different than somebody saying, "Man, you think that I like John Cena, or I like Randy Orton, or I like Roman Reigns." It's the same as that. I mean, these.
You're right.
Yeah.
I remember back in college, I used to know this dude that was real big on Yu-Gi-Oh, and he used to name all the different characters on Yu-Gi-Oh. He used to bring it up and want everybody to watch him play, and we kind of used to shun him. But
hey, bro. Hey, bro.
Uh-oh.
Hey, bro.
What's up, man?
You touched something.
I didn't say no names.
What we doing for real, bro?
I didn't say no names, bro. I never even said a name.
Okay. That's some crap right there.
Yeah, he used to love Yu-Gi-Oh, man. I was like, man, you really like this, don't you? I'm not into Pokemon, K-Mom, so why are you into Yu-Gi-Oh?
And you still going with it? Okay.
Oh, my bad. I thought we was bringing it out the closet, man. Oh, okay, let's leave that alone.
I was hoping you would say, I didn't say your name.
I didn't. He the one came out and had to speak up on it. I was like, man, they don't know
you were getting to a point.
Anyway, well, that's all I got for this one, man. I don't have anything else. Man, I'm hoping that my team survives this off season.
It's a huge mess there.
What you doing, Kyrie? I need some help. Kyrie.
I'm trying to get some more money.
Y'all seen that spoof?
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah. When he called Kyrie.
Yeah. You want to go to the Timberwolves? The Timberwolves, Kyrie. You want to go to Heat? When was the last time they went to the playoffs? Oh, when I was there.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was real good. Man, I'm hurting right now. I'm glad we got D-Rose. But I'm hurting. I'm like, dude, I do not want to see
that happened? That went through? He went to?
Yeah, that went through.
No, he ain't gone yet, but.
I thought it went through.
Oh, yeah, D-Rose is there. They got D-Rose.
Really?
Yeah, they got him on a 1 year, 2.5 million for a year.
He might be able to stay healthy.
Yeah. If they keep Kyrie, because I hope they keep, man. Dan Gilbert don't have to trade him. So, and him and LeBron, man, LeBron getting them, like, to me, LeBron, hey, we ain't here. Well, yeah, we're gonna talk about this before we go.
No, go ahead.
LeBron, to me, this is what, being a huge fan of LeBron, this is the type of stuff that irks the crap out of me about LeBron. You too grown of a man to be passively aggressive on Twitter, throwing jabs at dudes that's you 10 years older than, instead of being mature and be like, look, man, what do we need to work out? What's going on? And if you can't work it out, leave it alone. And then when Stephen A. Smith came up and said the stupid stuff he said, that just threw more gas on the flames. Like, Stephen A., you didn't even have to say that. You knew that once you said that, where it was going to go. And it was like, man, so this whole situation looking kind of bad. But I don't think he's going nowhere. I don't think Dan Gilbert going to trade him. I think he's going to keep him and force him to, because he got 2 years on his contract.
No, he's not going anywhere because there's nothing they can get out. They can't get anything that would be worth getting rid of him for. So he's not going anywhere.
So, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm hurting. I've been watching this like, dude, that's why I ain't even watching ESPN or nothing. And Shannon Sharp yelling over at Skip. I can't watch them long enough to really get anything. Skip, don't do that, Skip. I'm like,
it sounds just like
that's they got to pull the boots up by the string straps. So my mama told me back when I was eating myself, I was like, dude, what we want to hear about your mama, man?
Hey, that boy could be
grandmama.
He could be talking about
my sister. I stole one of the. I had a drumstick and a thigh, and I ran to my mama's room, and my sister came in and punched me in the stomach. I got a scar red leg. What? Then Skip would say, where are you going with this, Shannon Sharp? I'm just saying that Kyrie just making a bad decision. I'm like, you said all that to say Kyrie. I was like, dude,
you need to do like a video, a parody of something like that.
Skip.
Spot on.
Skip. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that, Skip. Skip. Stop, Skip. I was like, man, y'all need to. Shannon Sharp, you need to get your words together before you start saying.
No, he get really. I definitely like that show. I like that show a lot better than First Take because it's not like I like all four guys. I like Stephen A. and Kellerman. I like Sharp and I like Skip. You know, they have two different styles. You know, but it's just that I kind of like them better because they kind of tone it down a little bit most of the time. I mean, it's almost like as soon as the bell rings, they just going off on First Take. You know,
yeah.
especially that what's his name, Kane.
Oh yeah.
You know, basically, you know, I'm going to talk over everybody, and everything I say is right. And period.
Yeah, he's super duper smart. Everything I say is correct. I'm just leagues above you. It ain't Herman. It's Michael Caine, I think.
Something like Caine. I don't know.
Yeah, he gets on my nerves. Stephen A., to me, I don't know what happened. I think because he the big dog now. Dude just his head just went through the roof, man. It's so swole right now. It'd be hard to check it.
Yeah, he's putting his nose in place.
Such egregious like that.
Yeah, man.
Give me the dictionary.
What he be doing? What? I'm gonna walk off the what? Man, I'm like, dude. Oh my God!
You just I don't know that character.
And Molly just be sitting there. Molly like
so that's one thing I like. I like Joy over her. They both fine and everything.
I don't like Joy, man.
But I like Joy because you know she doesn't try to talk over or interrupt Skip or Shannon. Where Molly's like, okay, let me be involved in the you know she don't know how to step back and know how to interject herself when the time is right.
I think they be trying to prompt her that the commercial that they like 20 minutes past 30 seconds past going to a commercial, and she be trying to stop them, but they don't. My thing with Stephen A. and Max, and more so Stephen A., they don't respect Molly. Like when Molly tries to keep control of the show because she being prompted to say go cut to commercial and all that. Hold up, Molly. Hold up, I ain't done. I'm like, well, the credit say you need to shut up so we can get the money because your talking ain't paying the bills. It's the commercial that's gonna play between your talking that's paying the bills. But anyway, yeah, man, I watch a little bit of both. I lean towards First Take, but I do like Skip and all them too. He just get on my nerves when he talk about LeBron because he just hates too much for me, man. But anyway, we ain't here to talk about that. So. What do you say? Kellerman don't know man. Don't you be talking about Kellerman, man? Max Kellerman be on it, especially when it comes to boxing. But anyway, this was the Live and Level Gamers podcast. Hopefully y'all have found something to enjoy while we were debating and conversating. We will be back next Thursday because I will not be available this Sunday. But until then, deuces.